your young protege, as everybody calls him, Danny Murrell. He's also made that decision to turn over pro as soon as he turned 18. Happy birthday to Danny Murrell if he's in the room with you still. Well, belated birthday for a couple of weeks ago, I should say. Talk to me about that. I know you said you always wanted him to turn over when he turned 18.
Yeah.
Why so insistent on Danny turning over as soon as he hit that age?
Well, I met Danny for the first time. I used to go down to the local amateur school about a mile from my house. And he was there. He was always training every day. He'd be there every day training. Every time I go down, he'd be there working hard. And about 2.5 years ago, he did some body sparring with me and a few others. And he wouldn't go down. Eventually, he went down and he cried. It took about 20 minutes, though. And I thought, this kid's got a bit about him. Went down again. He was hitting the bag. And I thought, no one in this gym is showing him that. Like amateur boxing clubs, I thought, I knew who was training him, and I thought, yeah, they're not training this. I thought, where's he getting this from? So why are you doing that on the bag? I said, who showed you to do that? And he went, well, I don't know, I'm just doing it. So I thought, all right, that's interesting, because that's like, he's naturally doing things. Do you know what I mean? Like, he weren't just throwing 1-2 at the bag, he was doing some things. I thought, that's odd. I was quite impressed. Then I went down again. There's about 4 kids in the gym, and he was one of them. He was on a skipping rope. He was just skipping in the gym. A little fat kid when I met him. And he was just skipping. And I went, what are you doing? And he went, what do you mean? I said, why are you just skipping? I said, what on earth are you doing? And he went, oh, well. I said, well, there's no one here. There's no one to train me. I said, well, listen. So I had a bird at the time. I said, well, come to my bird's garden. I said, look, this is the address. I said, come here, we'll do some training. So anyway, I had my bird at the time holding the stopwatch. I took him on the pads and that. I said, look, I'll train you. I'll train you. So anyway, we had a few weeks. I said, keep coming back. So I want you here every day at 5:30. So he'd train with me at 5:30 till 6:30. He'd run then to his amateur club and train there as well, because he didn't dare tell them that he was training with me. So we did 2 when I met him, he probably had, when I met him, he had 35 amateur fights, I think. And he'd only won, I'm not sure what he won about, maybe 10. Do you know what I mean? Like, but he has something about him. So anyway, so he never missed a session. He was there every day. He trained hard. And I had him body sparring with people and doing all sorts of stuff. And I thought, this kid's got something about him. He's good. You know what I mean? He's a lot better than what everyone was saying he's no good in. I said, no, trust me. I said, he's got a bit about him. So anyway, he ended up having his first fight with me. It was in Derby, about an hour away. He boxed there. And I thought he won, but he didn't get it. He lost on a split. So, you know, all right. So I said, all right, sound. And then he had another 2 bouts. He won 1, lost 1. And he's had 11 with me. I think he's had 11 bouts with me. Won 5, lost 6. I think he's won 7 and lost 4. A lot of the bouts he's lost, I thought he won. The one bout he won recently, I thought he got beat. He got well beat and he got the decision. And then the 2 fights before, he won easy and didn't get him. And I remember the 2 bouts he lost yet and he didn't get him. I literally looked at the coach in the corner, and they looked at me and they're like, oh, I don't know, because he won easy. And then this one bout he had, the second last amateur bout he had, he got well beat. He was awful. And I looked at him and I went, you were terrible, mate. And then, yeah, I know. Anyway, the winner in the red corner, Murrell. And I just looked at him and I went, look, that's how it works, mate, sometimes. You know what I mean? He got the decision, he got well beat. And I thought, oh, my God. So anyway, but I said to him years ago, I said, you'll be a professional boxer. He's super tough. He is. And I'm not sitting here saying he'll be world champion or this and that. He's got aspirations of it. And of course, you know, you aim for that. And I was aiming for it. And I look now and I think, well, your aspirations lower, you know, your ceiling lowers. You know, the older you get and the more you see, you know where you're going to get. So, sorry, that pause then. So, so he's turned professional. He's super tough. He's had probably he's had between 45 and 50 amateur fights. He sparred world champions. He sparred Jamie McDonald. He sparred Gavin McDonald. He sparred Anthony Tomlinson. He sparred world-class fighters. He sparred British-level fighters. And February time, I got Luke Middleton. He's 2-9 as a journeyman, but he's a good journeyman. I said, we come down and spar Danny 6-3s. Danny sparred him. And I got a few people around the ring, and I scored it. And I scored it 60-54. I went, well, you're ready to turn pro. So this is the level you'll start out at. So if you handle him, you can box, and he handled him well. I said, well, you can turn pro. And I said, you ain't going to be boxing for titles like that, you know what I mean? You have to box genuine, you have to develop physically. If he develops physically, he develops a bit of power, a bit of strength, I think he boxes for a British title and probably wins one. if he doesn't, he might win an area title. You know, I don't lie to him. We're like brothers. We are like family. So I'll never lie to him. At the moment, I think boxing isn't for him, and he hasn't made the right. He hasn't, because he's out of our hands now. He physically matures. That doesn't happen. He wins an area title. But that's probably his ceiling, son. Do you know what I mean? So he's a bright kid. He talks well. He can do other things. So, but at the minute, our aspirations are that he becomes world champion. You know, and he trains for that. He trains very. I've never met anyone train harder. So I'm really proud of him. The MTK Global thing, obviously, I put that together, but he gets loads of birds from it. So who am I to knock him? Do you know what I mean? My job is for him. My job for him, I'm his boxing trainer. Do you know what I mean? But I'm also like, I'm like a brother to him, like a dad. I've got all these roles for him, and all I want to do is make him happy. It's time for MTK Global. Brilliant. Train hard. Let's win some fights now. So, yeah, for me, it's just I want a kid so bad, but now I've got him. That's changing that whole field. It's like having my own kid. I don't even need my own kids now for a few years. So I've got him to look after. So yeah, and I see a lot of things about him saying, "Oh, he's no good. He's this and that." He's the Dave Allen's mate. The kid can fight a bit. You know what I mean? He can definitely do a little bit. He's not bad at all.
Dave, obviously with Danny only being 18, he's going to have a couple. The first chapter of his career, he will be facing those journeymen, as you say, just getting experience of a pro rank.
Yeah.
What plan have you and kind of MTK had and put in place for Danny for when boxing can return?
Well, I spoke to Eddie. I rung Eddie. Yeah. I texted Eddie. I went, Eddie, give me a ring. So Eddie rings me. And he went, "You right, Dave? What's up, mate?" And I went, "Look, it's about Danny Murrell." And he started laughing. He went, "Yeah, what's up?" I said, "Look, he's turning pro. Yeah, when can you get him on a show?" And he went, "Obviously, we're doing 4 or 5 shows, 5 fights a show. You ain't going to get on there." I said, yeah, of course. I said, yeah, I know that. He said, "Well, November, December time, hopefully, we'll be able to look at getting him on a show." So he'll hopefully get to watch a few of Eddie's shows. You know, MTK will get him on a good show too as well. But he'll have to watch Doncaster Down in 4-rounders at 7 o'clock against people that have won 4 lost 100, like everybody else has. You know what I mean? He'll learn the proper way. People say, "Oh, he's signed with MTK Global," and that. He's earned it the hard way. I've had him sparring some of the best. He was sparring Jamie McDonnell, world champion, Gav McDonnell. You know what I mean? He's had to take his lumps, and he's really learned, and he's really improved. And when I met him to now, he's 11 amateur fights over me. 10 of the 11, well, no, 9 of the 11, because he boxed one kid twice. 9 of the 11 were minimum champion of their region. Do you know what I mean? He boxed 4 national champions. He boxed one kid that was seeded 1 in England, the kid from Rotunda. So he's had it really hard, to be honest. So I could have got him fights. I could have got him fights against kids that had won 6, lost 10. But I'm no interest in doing that because it ain't going to improve for me. So I'm not really asked what people think if he's any good or not, because over time, he's a bit like Ian Napper. Remember Ian Napper? He were a flyweight. He's not a big puncher. He's clever as hell. I can't wait for people to watch him because he's really good. He's actually a really good little boxer. You know what I mean? He ain't going to knock anybody out, but he can box like mad. So I'm really excited. And it excites me at least as much as me boxing. You know, your prices, your Hughie Fury's possibly in the upcoming months, him having his professional debut, it excites me just as much as that.
Dave, just a final few things then, just to touch on some potential fights, just get your thoughts.
Yeah.
Andi Ruiz Jr. has recently teamed up with Eddie Reynoso, training out in Mexico now with Canelo, Julio Cesar Martinez, and amongst many others. Firstly, what are your thoughts on Ruiz turning to the Reynoso camp?
Well, he'll probably get some good supplements. You know what I mean? Get the good food. I imagine he'll look in better condition. Obviously, train really hard. What I mean, and eat well. Andi Ruiz is a really, really good fighter. Really good fighter. Like, obviously, be Anthony Joshua, you know what I mean? He was world heavyweight champion. It sounds daft to say that now, but before, if you said that, he was like, "Oh, well, took Parker to the wire, might have beat Parker." You know what I mean? So, I think Ruiz is easily a top 10 heavyweight in the world, easily. Maybe top 5. He let himself down in the Joshua rematch, but I can't sit here and say it because I've done that a million times over. So it'll be a little bit hypocritical of me to have a go at him for being out of shape. But yeah, I think it's a really good move for him, and I think Ruiz for me, I don't want to see him fight, Fury, Joshua, Wilder, because I think they're a little bit too big for him. Joshua showed the second fight the blueprint to beat him. Just boxing move. He can't. He's a little bit too small. I think Tyson would do the same. Wilder, I think, could do a similar job. But I'd love to see Ruiz fight Dylan White. I'd love to see him fight Michael Hunter. I'd love to see him fight Povetkin. All them kind of small heavyweights. I'd love to see them all box each other because they're all really, really good fighters. And I love watching them as well. I love watching the 6'2", 6'3" heavyweights that are mobile. Because Ruiz is mobile when he's not fat. He's got fast hands, So I think it's a really good move. I'm excited to see him in not good shape, because I don't think we'll ever see him in good shape, but I'm excited to see him in the best shape he can be in.
A couple of guys that were mentioned for potential Ruiz Ruiz fight. Ruiz came out and said he'd like to face Luis Ortiz, and then there was a few things knocking about over social media. Tony Bellew. What are your thoughts on Ruiz versus either Luis Ortiz or if Tony Bellew was to come out of retirement?
I don't think Tony Bellew will come out of retirement. I don't think there's any need for it, really. What a career he had. I remember watching Tony Bellew boxing Danny McIntosh. He used to train with Danny Mac. Then Bob Agistaf. When Bob Agistaf dropped Tony Bellew in that fight, or when he drew Isaac Chilemba, you'd have bet your house that he'd never gone on to achieve half of it, not even a quarter of what he did. He was exceptional. He beat David A twice. You wouldn't have. You said that you'd have got locked up for being mental. So I hope he don't come back. I don't think he'll beat Andi Ruiz anyway, because he's just not an heavyweight, and he's 36 and retired. So I don't think it'll happen. I hope it don't happen, because I think what Tony Bellew did serves as like a great thing for fighters like me that are like, you're plodding on, you're getting beat, and you're just thinking, what can I do? And I look at Tony Bellew's career, and you just think anything's possible, really, innit? Like I said, a man who can get a draw. Chilemba's a good fighter to us, but you can get a draw with Chilemba, then go on and beat David A, win a cruiserweight world title, knock Macabre out and stuff like that. So, and then he made loads of money, boxed Usyk, and then retired at 34 years of age. Healthy, happy, great job with Sky. I think he's one of the real feel good and like well done to you, mate, kind of stories. So, but Ortiz Ruiz, that's a proper fight. Yeah, that's a fight I'd really like to see. I think Luis Ortiz he's probably nearing 55 now, but can still fight a bit, to be fair.
Would you take that rematch?
I mean, I say all the time, I'm not the greatest fighter in the world, yeah. But if you're going to pay me the right, I took home $9 grand when I boxed him last time. You know what I mean? So if you're going to pay me like 10 times, like, yeah, why not? I'll have a fucking go, like. So people always say, well, you must be brave fighting him. I think, well, not really, because I'm getting paid to do it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, if you're going to pay me the right amount of money, I'd fight that tree outside. I know I'm not going to hit it, but do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't. When fighters get credit for taking fights, I just think, why? What are you getting credit for? It's our fucking job.
Final thing I just wanted to get your thoughts on as well is that potential undisputed heavyweight title fight. A lot of talk about it. Joshua Fury. Firstly, there's been a lot of flowing about that. China interested, Saudi Arabia. Do you feel it would need to go to a country like that who would pay like a big, huge, site fee and put the money on for that to happen, or do you think it is possible to see it somewhere in either like the US or in the UK? Dave, can we also get you to drop the camera down again a bit as well? That's all right.
Sorry, mate.
That's right.
That fight ain't happening this year. You know what I mean? No way. Joshua Pure's happening. Fury Wilder's gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. And when it does happen, which I believe it will, if the results all align how we want them to for that fight to happen. Obviously, Joshua needs to beat Purewal, Fury needs to beat Wilder. I believe they're the results you expect. It won't happen in England, I don't think. It just won't, because it just makes more money elsewhere. I think doing it in Saudi Arabia in front of, 15,000, was it, for Ruiz?
Yeah.
That makes more money than 90,000 at Wembley. So they'll take it over there. And it's easy for me and you to go, well, what's the difference between 50 million and 100 million? But we're not actually making it. Someone said to me 50 million or 100 million, but you can box at Wembley for it. I'd go, you know what, I'd drive a fight at Wembley because I don't really want to fly. But 50 million quid's a lot of money, in it, I guess. 50 million is like the next 20 to 100 generations of your family all settled for life. But I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. It ain't going to happen anytime soon, so I just think, in boxing, we always seem to talk about shit that's just not going to happen, don't we? We do, though, don't we? We always just talk about stuff. I just think, well, that's not going to happen, mate. But I wish it would. And I wish it would happen at Keaton Stadium in Doncaster. But it won't. It'll probably happen in Saudi Arabia sometime in 2027. So we'll just have to wait and see.
You never know, Dave. If you have a word with Eddie, he might be able to put it on at the keep mode.
Well, you never know. He might answer the phone one of these days. I'll have a wait. I'll ask him.
Dave, obviously, before I do let you leave and to enjoy the rest of your day, what would you like to say to everybody who does tune in to watch our interview?
Just want to say, make sure you watch the interview and don't just read the headline, because sometimes they're very misleading, especially Andi Purewal. Just hope everyone's all right. I hope everyone is well. I hope Bal is well if he's watching. Hello, Bal. I know you are, but just hope everyone's all right and getting by, and hopefully I'll see you all at a boxing show near you soon.
Dave, it's well put, and I'll pass on your well wishes to my father there. Thanks for giving up some time this morning. I'll let you go back to sleep. Dave, thanks for speaking to Boxing Social.
Nice one, mate. Thank you.